You know how older TV shows always had that one gay episode? I want to take a look at them with a critical eye and see if the representations of queer folk still hold up to this day. Today, we have Maude Season 6, Episode 9, The Gay Bar. Maude was a sitcom from the 1970s about an outspoken feminist named Maude Findlay living with her fourth husband Walter, divorced daughter Carol, and bright grandson Philip. In the first episode, before we hear a single sentence from any of the characters, we're told about Maude's relationship with feminism in the catchy opening theme song, And Then There's Maude. I can't play it here due to copyright, but the song talks about various important women throughout history. Lady Godiva, a noblewoman who rode naked through the streets in protest of oppressive taxation, Joan of Arc, a knight who dressed up as a man and was subsequently burned because of it, and so on. You get the idea. Where it finally mentions Maude as another important woman from history, and I'm inclined to agree. In the first season, she was the first person on primetime television to get an abortion, which definitely normalized it as an option for the public, so she definitely deserves her position amongst the greats. In the episode The Gay Bar, Maude butts heads with her conservative neighbor Arthur, who isn't happy about a new gay bar opening in town, and he spouts the typical anti-gay quote-unquote arguments of bigots, from saying that God is against homosexuality to the ever-present think of the children. So it's clear that things haven't changed one bit. Because they're the typical conservative arguments every queer person has heard thousands of times before, I won't go into detail about all of what Arthur says, except for one thing that I think is both extremely dumb and representative of some of the debates going on now about trans people. When Arthur talks to Philip about the gay bar, in a surprisingly powerful conversation that shows the next generation overcoming the older generation's bigotry, he starts to talk about how being gay is a disease, and then this exchange occurs.
What's the cure for being gay?
Bowling.
Different people on the right have a weird, oddly specific thing that's masculine or feminine to them. Arthur's response reminds me of the tweet from Adam Carolla about how more males wear bracelets than eat stew these days, which are two strangely arbitrary things to categorize as feminine and masculine. Wearing bracelets versus eating stew, bowling versus not bowling, it's all the same nonsense. And it's hilarious to see Arthur's point thrown back at him by Walter on their way to the gay bar.
You have got to protect Philip against this pernicious, insidious sickness.
Couldn't I just buy him a bowling ball?
If it's easy to turn someone gay by merely presenting the idea of homosexuality to them, then it'd be just as easy to turn them straight again. But conservatives know that this argument is illogical. They don't care though, and just hope that if they bring it up, the person they're debating doesn't point out how flawed it is. Throughout the episode, we see nearly every character in the Findlay household debunk Arthur's arguments in a hilarious fashion. And I know it's a sitcom, so things are dialed up to 11 for comedic purposes, but I still believe that most, if not all, of what Arthur says is being unironically spouted by conservative commentators to this day. Just open up any random Matt Walsh video and you'll see what I mean. Or don't, he's boring as fuck. It's great to see these characters go against straight-up bigotry, but if we're to apply this to the real world, they would and should eventually realize that people like Arthur don't care about good or bad arguments. They just care about bashing queer people because they're queer. In this case, Arthur is using the reasoning that the gay bar is breaking the indecency laws of the town they live in, so it must be closed down immediately, but it's just a farce. He and conservatives in general don't care that literally every statistic supports our existence. They just want us gone, but it makes sense that liberals wouldn't understand that so easily. Not to hate on liberals too much though, I believe that most of the time that their hearts are in the right place, but they play too much into what I'm gonna call liberal idealism. The idea that the world is more of an ideal place than it actually is. In the world of liberal idealism, people are able to change their bigoted views at the flip of a coin with the help of a really good argument and everyone can get along easily afterwards. But that's not the world we live in, unfortunately, and we have to recognize that in order to truly address these issues. Going back to the episode, at this point we're finally in the gay bar with Walter, Maude, and Arthur. Arthur is acting the way you'd expect, overreacting to every little thing the patrons do.
Good. I'm glad you told him.
What? You see that? My God, they're holding hands.
But it's here we see Maude act in a strange way that she really shouldn't. She wants to have one of the patrons talk to Arthur to prove that they're normal people, but goes about it in a way that's very objectifying.
I hate to intrude on your privacy, and I don't want you to think that I'm some frivolous sightseer just looking for cheap thrills, but Are you a gay person?
Bingo.
Arthur, we're in luck. I found one. I mean, someone who'll talk to us.
I found one is such a weird way of talking about us, though it could just be a little sitcom humor slipping in, but it still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. The way the patron acts, though, is hilarious. He does exactly what I think any gay person would do in this situation. Sit there for 1 or 2 questions, then leave so he can go back to getting laid. What a king. Not just that, though, the ending of the episode also leaves an even worse taste when it's revealed that Arthur is okay with the gay bar staying open because it technically doesn't break any laws.
You are violating 3 Tuckahoe ordinances.
The Tuckahoe city limits is right across the street. We're just over the line. So you could take your signs and picket.
Oh, come on, Maude. We're not even going to picket.
You're not?
Well, of course not. I believe in the law, and if you believe in the law, you don't go around breaking the law.
Conservatives do not act like this, and it's ridiculous to believe they do. Again, I know it's a sitcom with sitcom logic, but if Maude is supposed to be this important feminist figure, they should at least properly portray these political issues. And I know that this is older, so maybe back then conservatives were a little more reasonable, but I doubt that. I don't know, it's just this weird myth of the sensible Republican still pervades in the minds of so many liberals, and it's just so strange. I don't know how true it is, but at least in these times, they're not true at all. The right doesn't care if something is legal or not. They just want gay people gone, and there's no changing that, no matter how much hoping you do. Liberal idealism at its worst. And at the end of the day, Arthur still hates gay people. He just knows that the gay bar is legally allowed to stay open. All in all, it's a fine episode. I think the portrayal of the gay characters, mainly the patron, is extremely well done and accurate to the gay experience. We're always mocked and attacked by the right, while being treated as playthings by liberals, from being the gay best friend to how Maude treats the patron in the episode. Yeah, sure, all of us gay people always want to debate our existence with bigots who want us gone. We don't, for the record. That was sarcasm. Typical of liberals, I do think that this episode's heart is in the right place, but it could have done a lot better in some ways, and has done greatly in others. Like I said, it's fine. Thanks for watching.